Welcome to another episode of Gardening the Right Way. Pansies, as we know them, have been around since the 1800s. They're a great cool season crop, which means they add color to our gardens in both spring and the fall. But did you know that these cheery, bright flowers are also great sources of vitamin A and vitamin C? Today, we're going to learn how to candy some pansies. So now,
come on, everybody! Let's go and meet the pansies!
modern pansies come from years of cross-pollinating and hybridizing wild Johnny jump-ups and violas. Pansies are known for their cheery faces, which makes it all the more curious that this cheery guy, William Thompson, is generally credited for making big, bold flowers that we call pansies today. Pansies, as I mentioned, are high in vitamin A and vitamin C, and one of the easiest edible flowers to use. While you can just toss them into a salad to add some color and pizzazz in almost any season. Pansies are also very easy to candy, but you will find smaller, viola-like flowers are easier to work with. Once candied, pansies can remain ready to use in a sealed container like a Tupperware container for a couple of months. For this project, you will need some pansies, a cheap paintbrush, an egg, some granulated sugar, and some wax or parchment paper. First, of course, you will need some pansies. For the safest result, use the ones growing in your garden already, but most garden center finds should also be pretty safe to use. Pick out some colors that you would like to candy and bring them home. Maybe pay for them. Snip off the flower heads and leave a little bit of stem on each flower so you have something to hold on to while you're preparing them. You can leave the stems on, but they tend to be a little bit grassy and will take away from the sweet taste of the candied pansies. Once you have a little collection of flowers, rinse them off in a bowl of water. Pansy flowers are fairly hydrophobic, which means that they will repel most of the water. Your goal here is to rinse off any dust, soil, or critters that may have come along for the ride. After rinsing, set them out on some paper towels to dry. Can blot them gently if you're impatient like me. Otherwise, they will dry pretty quickly in a warm room. Prepare a cookie sheet with a piece of wax paper or parchment paper. You will need that little paintbrush for the next steps. This package came from the dollar store. Next, take an egg and separate the whites. We need the whites. Stir up the whites a little bit and then simply brush the petals with egg whites. Don't try to dip the flowers. Even the sturdiest pansies will collapse in the egg whites. While the flowers are still moist with egg whites, spoon some granulated sugar over them. Try to cover as much of the petals as possible without allowing the sugar to clump. You can use confectionery sugar, but granulated sugar gives the flowers a more sparkly, magical look. Let your finished flowers set out overnight, if possible, to dry. You can dry them in an oven, at its lowest setting, often around 150, but be careful because you really don't want the sugar to melt or to caramelize. Once your candied pansies are dried and sparkly, trim off the stems. They don't taste bad, but they taste a little grassy and they'll take away from your crystallized creation. Candied pansies can be served on their own as individual candies, but they also make great decorations for cakes and puddings. Keep your candied pansies for a couple of months ready to go in a sealed container. That's it. Enjoy your candied pansies. For more fun tips and ideas, check out my other videos, and thank you for watching Gardening the Right Way.